Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Catherine Sharon Aleha Shalom Sephardic Baking Series. We're very honored to have a guest baker all the way from Eretz Yisrael, from Israel, Leah Jacobson. Leah, take it away.
Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or wherever you are, and good evening to anyone who's coming here from Israel also. I just want to give a shout out to my Auntie Kay, whose Boreka proudly is displayed on my refrigerator. This was, I think she made these for the bazaar a few years ago. It looks good enough to eat, honestly, but we're not going to do that. So I'm so happy to see everybody and to be here and to demonstrate the making of a shakshuka, which I have a feeling comes from the huevos con tomate that my nonna used to make and that my mom used to make when I was growing up, right? And I have a feeling everybody's culture added a little bit of a this and that they found in their own region. But here in Israel, it's a huge delicacy, and almost any cafe offers their own take on it. And they even have some, they're called green shakshukas, which is like a zucchini and the spinach and onions with a cream sauce. It's delicious. I'm not gonna demo that tonight, but highly recommended. And what I am gonna say tonight is that we're gonna start with pretty basic ingredients, and you can really take this to wherever you want it to go. But I'm gonna start with my onions. I've already chopped them, but basically it's one medium to large size onion. I'm gonna be working in a Revereware saucepan, and it's a big one. I'm probably gonna use about 8 to 10 eggs in this. So just to give you an idea. But I have my onions, I have fresh garlic, but for those who like shortcuts, and I'm not sure if many people do or don't, here, and I'm sure you can get it there too, you can buy minced garlic already that it comes frozen, but you can put it in the fridge, and now I can just spoon out as much as I want here. And again, shortcuts, like them or don't like them, but there's a time and place for everything, and sometimes you need to expedite the matter, so I'd say keep it handy. Obviously we have our tomatoes that are going to be going in. We're going to use fresh tomatoes, and I will not be adding any sauce, but there is always an option to add sauce if you want. This particular sauce, it says a pizza sauce, but it's also good for shakshuka. It comes from Yad Mordechai. It's an Israeli home brand, a kibbutz called Yad Mordechai that incidentally, I believe, was named after Mordechai Anilevich, the leader of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. I'm going to have some spinach handy, some spinach leaves, because I like to sprinkle those on top every once in a while. And I do that really at the end. It doesn't need to cook in. It's just nice to get a little soft and wilted into at the end. And I have some Kalamata olives. I have some feta cheese up in the fridge, and basically some coarse salt and some fresh ground pepper that I will be using. You might notice this brand, it might look a little familiar to you. There's a store here where you can actually get some Costco products, including paper towels and toilet paper and cutlery and garbage bags, all the important things. Anyways, you can also get a whole range of their spices now too. So very exciting. I'll just show you another little product that we have in Israel. This is how tomato paste comes in Israel. It comes in these little packets. And I'd say it's probably a little bit less than your 8-ounce can, but I'm not gonna use it because I don't really like to put the tomato paste in mine, but that's another option for those who do, who like it a little bit thicker, or who'd like to add and dilute it while it's cooking, okay? So just also to give you a little bit of a preview, this is kind of what we're going for. In this littler saucepan, I made one with 4 eggs before, and
Turn it sideways when
I don't want to turn it too far to the side.
especially when it's done.
Exactly, but that's going to be what we're looking for. Okay, Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start my flame, and I'm gonna get my onions going and my garlic. So I don't know how many people are doing this while I'm doing it, but we're gonna get it going on a medium to high flame. If we can get it to stay on.
Can you turn it on then?
Okay, yep. I don't really measure my olive oil when I put it in. I just kind of get it up in there. Yeah, it looks like about a tablespoon or almost 2 tablespoons really. And I'm gonna get the onions going. Like I said, this is about 1 medium and a half of a small onion. Your onion to tomato ratio is also gonna be a personal choice and how you like it. So we're gonna go ahead and get that going right up there. Yeah. And we'll scuzzle that around. Tonight, I am gonna use fresh garlic tonight because it's a cooking demonstration. And so I feel like, you know what, let's just do it right. I'm gonna take about 4 cloves of garlic, and these are actually pretty nice size. Once again, this is gonna be a personal taste issue, but here in Israel, they don't shy away from garlic, and it really does enrich the flavor, and it has a lot of good health properties as well. So I'd say go for it. Okay, and I'm gonna do really just a coarse chopping. Obviously, if I was using this, it would be minced, and you can mince it also if you want, if you have a little mincer and you want to get it going. But I'm gonna just chop it. Yeah. Any questions yet, or comments, or anything while I peel my garlic?
Leah, it looks delicious, so tasty. Wish we could be there. Hi, John.
I wish you could too, honestly. So that's
I've had this shakshuka many times. I can vouch for it.
Actually, I'm inviting myself. I'm inviting myself for Sukkot, Leah, for breakfast Sunday morning.
Okay, come on over. Come on over.
Eli Levy is there. I also want to acknowledge your sous chef there, Carol.
Yes.
Hi,
Carol, come and say hi.
Hello. There's another sous chef behind the scenes, actually. She's camera shy, but she's going to come and say a quick hello.
Camera shy. Hi, Shauna.
Hi.
Shauna. Oh, Shauna Eliana.
Okay, she's going to demo the Israeli salad pretty soon. This is going to look like about 2 tablespoons of fresh garlic, and I really do chop it coarsely because it's more fun that way.
On purpose.
So I have a question today, which is, does anyone have the tradition of having shakshuka or huevos con tomate before Tisha B'Av?
No.
Way too tasty for before Tisha B'Av. When I was growing up, it was lentejas and white rice.
And I don't remember ever hearing this word before. Did we used to call this something else?
Levels come to mind.
I would feel guilty eating shakshuka on Erev Tisha B'Av. Rabbi, do you have that?
I would agree. I love shakshuka. I couldn't have that before Tisha B'Av.
No, but I was thinking, because if it is an option to add in Parmesan, they have mozzarella babies that you can put on it, or we can obviously grate some Padano or some fresh Parmesan. For Shavuot, it would be a beautiful choice for one of the many meals that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is a festive meal to me. It's a celebratory brunch. I could imagine doing this on Mother's Day or something like that. It'd be nice.
Right. Now, also, as a little bonus, and I wasn't going to mention it till the end, but once we're talking about celebrations and stuff, obviously here in Israel, we have our choice of bakeries. Every other block has a bakery with fresh bread. And I could have gotten a sampler and brought some fresh baguettes to show you and some artisan breads, but instead I baked an easy recipe of a French bread, and I'll happily post it and send the recipe. This was actually a recipe that Carol found, and she made it last week. It's delicious. This is fresh bread. It took me,
Highly recommend.
yeah, it took me 10
Under
minutes
an
to make.
hour.
It rises for 20 minutes. Slice it along the top and
We're gonna say. So.
and enjoy it.
You're making me very hungry.
All right. Well, I'll send you the recipe for it. Yeah.
All we need is smell-o-vision and we're there.
Okay. So now I am going to go ahead and cut the tomatoes. And once again, I'm going to do a coarse chop because I just like to chop things coarsely, but also because I have this handy tool, which after they get soft and they cook for a little bit, I'm going to mash them up in there and bring out the juices and make the sauce a little bit runnier. That being said, if you have an immersion blender, at the point where the tomatoes are soft and I would be mashing them with my masher, you can also use your immersion blender. My son-in-law does that. So that could be an option. If he wants to pipe in right now from Tel Aviv, he can also pop in and tell us how that works for him.
Where'd he go?
Which son-in-law is this one?
Oh, he might have been studying.
Right? Actually, he's the one who might be studying right now for his law exam. So that's Gedalia. That's Shauna's husband. And he's, I mean, listen, I don't feel worthy to actually be doing this cooking demonstration because when it's Shakshuka time here, I'm usually not the one who's making it. I've got many more able Shakshuka makers here than actually all of my sons-in-law can make a great Shakshuka. So, but I'm just doing the best that I can here, and anyone can chime in if they want. I'm gonna do 4 medium to large tomatoes here, and you can see me chopping them. Wow, I don't need to tell you how good the tomatoes are in Israel, or to mention that Israel is the one who invented the cherry tomato, which I won't
Leah?
use for the shakshuka, but
Can you move your screen a little bit down so we can see what you're doing?
Yeah.
Because we can see you, but your chopping is, okay, that's good. Okay.
There it is.
That's mom talking.
there it is.
This is a proper family show. I love it.
Exactly. Okay, so now since you can see me chopping now, I'm adding a 5th tomato because honestly, why not?
And let's say
Okay.
we don't have as nice tomatoes as you have in Israel. What type of tomatoes would you recommend?
You're gonna do the best you can with what looks best, and I would probably go with Roma if I remember my tomato selection well. From the States, from Trader Joe's, they usually had them, but yeah, you know, you want them juicy but not falling apart, and the Roma tomatoes are the ones that I remember using the most often there. So that's what I would recommend. I'm taking it to the frying pan, okay? I have the 5 coarsely chopped tomatoes here. Some stems in there because why not? Gives a little roughage. And I'm gonna put that in, okay? Wow, I honestly do wish you could smell this right now. It smells amazing. Okay. And before I mix it in, I'm bringing it over to show you because the onions are nice and soft. They're just about to turn a little bit of a brown. And this is the time where I add the tomatoes in, okay? And I'm basically filling the filling the frying pan with the tomatoes. So I'm gonna let those cook for a little while. And I'm gonna cover them so they cook a little faster. Okay, and so
So now,
now,
while we're waiting, can you tell us a little bit about your cooking inspirations and who got you involved in cooking?
oh wow. So my cooking inspirations, many of the people who are my cooking inspirations are on this Zoom right now. And certainly many of them are related to who my cooking inspirations were. Obviously my mother and my grandmother and my aunt and all the women at SBH. Basically they set the bar pretty high, and it's just an ongoing life goal and joy to perpetuate these recipes and to share them with our new families. As our family expands, the need for bizcochos expands pretty quickly, and all the other recipes that I can say are really a staple of our lives here. Girls, what do you think?
Yeah, last Shabbat, we had a meal in Tel Aviv, me and Shauna and our husbands and a lot of the Seattle relatives, and we had a meal of cojado and borecas and fritada and all the good stuff. So it's being passed down and continued through the generations, and we love it every time.
Yeah. Yep. Even the newlywed bride made her first batch of bizcochos all on her own this Friday, and definitely at the request of her and the enjoyment of her family, her new family, because she brought them to their Shabbat table. So yeah, I mean, honestly, Auntie Catherine, who this Zoom series is named for, was also such a huge inspiration and teacher. These women weren't just my inspirations, they were also my teachers. And I can't say that my quality control is always as it should be, but
You're not
we do the best we can. And the taste is always good, that's for sure. Listen, the truth is, fresh spinach is such a staple in our lives, and so that's why I honestly don't hesitate to add it to almost any, anything that we're making that's savory. Yeah, so I hope that answered that question.
I've got too many Albert S. Mymans. I had to mute one. Sorry.
I just wanted Jack to share with us his announcement about this session from the pulpit yesterday.
I don't think we could have that on a recorded session.
Well, it's okay. We'll take it offline.
Listen, I'm not too good with the Hebrew pronunciation, Leah, but I thought it was like Chaka Khan or
Jack, you can call it whatever you want, honestly. That's the truth.
Shawshank. Last week I thought it was Shawshank. We won't talk about this week. Thanks, Al.
Right? Here's a fun fact. My daughter's mother-in-law and her husband's family got a dog recently, and they actually named him Shakshuka. So he was supposed to be named Hamilton, but Hamilton did not stick. Shakshuka totally usurped that.
Yeah. Can you imagine telling neighborhood, where's the ham? Where's ham? Where's ham? I don't think that would.
we got good friends who have a dog called Baraka.
Oh, see that? Yeah, right.
Yamiel's dog is Baraka.
Right? Here's a look at our feta cheese. It's Piraeus. It's like it's a Greek brand, and obviously I think you guys get a good feta cheese, right? Does Trader Joe's still have that feta cheese?
Yeah, it does, but because feta is very popular now, we're not having it so much. It's out. So hopefully it'll be back by Shavuot.
Right, I remember that was always the shortage.
Yeah.
So this is a feta cheese. It comes in its liquid, and it has a cute little basket. Here in Israel, the selection of cheeses is just unbelievable. But look at how cute this is. It comes in its own little basket. All the liquid is inside, and then you put it back in when you don't use.
Basket.
I know, right?
Leah, are you working for Nefesh B'Nefesh?
I wish. Come on. I wish I could get you all over here. So that would be great.
An SBH Garin. It would be great.
Right?
It would be easy for my absorption.
Right? Listen, I don't think he'll ever agree to it, but my husband now makes delicious hummus almost weekly for Shabbat. So yeah, it's the food here is obviously so fresh and so nutritious, but full of flavor.
Is John there? Tell him to say hello. Hey, it's an opportunity.
Yeah. It's an opportunity.
In the family.
He'll be here soon. Okay, anyways, what I'm also gonna have going on and off the camera, but is an Israeli salad, because this will be, when you go to a breakfast for, you know, at a cafe in Israel and you order your shakshuka, they'll generally ask you if you like your salad katsuts, or what is the other option? What is it? Yaruka or katsutsa, I think. Like they want to know if you want a green salad, which would probably have some sort of a lettuce or something like that, or a salad katsut, which is a chopped salad, and that will be the traditional Israeli salad, which has, you know, the cucumbers, the tomatoes, a little bit of red onion, sometimes parsley, and a lemon and oil, and it's a delicious accompaniment. What you'll also have, yeah, it's almost ready for mashing. It's almost ready for
Shauna's
mashing.
doing some spectacular chopping.
Yeah, you
I'm
can
the
hear
queen
it.
of salad.
You can hear it, but you can't see it. When you order your Israeli salad, also, or when you order your shakshuka, they'll also come with a lot of times it comes with a tray of different kinds of cheeses, of sour cream, of tahina, of fresh tahina, that sometimes they serve just tahina golemet, they call it. It's the raw tahina. It's delicious. It has a very nutty flavor. They'll have a little bit of tuna. They'll have some avocado, and definitely some olives and some fresh jams too. There's a woman who has a business of jams somewhere in the north. When Mo and Helene Azos were here a couple years ago, they went up to her and she has some, 50 flavors of fresh jams with no preservatives, and wow, highly recommended. So you can honestly, anyone who's looking to take a trip to Israel and who will hopefully be able to come anytime soon, can really do a culinary tour of Israel, all from north to south and east to west. In the Shuk in Yerushalayim, in Machane Yehuda, they actually have food tours, and you can get a dairy one or a meat one, and you go in walking through the Shuk in the group, and you can you get little tasters in all the different stores that they have. And of course, you would most likely also stop at Mamlechet HaChalva, which is a halva in, also about 40 different flavors. So again, highly recommended. You may have thought you didn't like halva until you went and tasted it, Mamlechet HaChalva. Also, there's a delicacy called knafe, which is, I have a feeling, also somehow related to in the baklava family. It's a shredded fila dough, and it's fried on top, and it usually has some sort of a cheese filling, but it can also be made salty, but in the cheese with a sweet cheese filling. And then there's a rose water that is poured over it, and it's very highly recommended. Okay, so right now what I'm gonna do is take my masher. It's just a potato masher, and I'm gonna mash up the tomatoes.
I heard there's a great tahina with silan at Mamlechet too. That's what Rena said.
Yeah, in fact, anyone who wants to try their own, if you make quinoa at home, either white or red quinoa, if you just cook it regular and then drizzle some tahina and silan on it, it's a delicious side dish for any Shabbat or Chag meal. And I would serve it warm, but just drizzle the silan and the tahina on after, just right before serving. So warm up the quinoa and then drizzle on top. Okay, so this is what my tomatoes look like now. They're definitely soft enough, and I'm gonna mash them up a little bit so it gets the juices flowing. And it looks good. Wow. It looks really good. We can. I don't think so. Yeah. Now with the edge of my masher, I also did a little bit of blocking out some space, and actually can. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I've carved out a little bit, you know, like little nooks for where I'm gonna put the raw eggs. So those are gonna go in between. I don't know if you can see, and it's not really helping because I'm just, because every time I put it down, they're going away. But I'm basically making a little space for each of the eggs that I'm gonna put in. And again, I have my spinach and my olives handy, but I'm not putting them in yet because really those are gonna be for garnishing and just eating. Okay, now when you're making the shakshuka, you also want to make sure that you open the eggs gingerly so as not to rupture the yolk, because that would not be nice looking in your shakshuka. The idea is for each egg to stay whole and sort of cook in its own little nook. The eggs want to cook in their nook. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. So, yeah.
How many eggs are you going to put in?
I'm going to put 6 to 8 eggs into this frying pan. It's big enough for that. And again, it's a little bit also about personal taste, and obviously, you know, you want to have some sort of bread to get all the, to scrape up all the delicious sauce, the gomo as we call it. I'll bring it over in just 1 minute so you can actually see what's going on with it. Oh, actually, Carol's going to log in from her phone so she can get a close-up on it. You can what? Keep medium heat. We're gonna lower it when we. Oh, about the heat. Oh, medium. When we get to right. Right. I might lower it a little bit. Right now, I am gonna keep it on the medium heat because I do want it to cook a little faster since we're here live. But that'll also depend on how much juice you have in your pan, because you don't want it to dry out and get and burn. And that might be a consideration also if you want to add some sauce. And now, oh, Carol, mute it there. Got it? Okay, great. Okay, so I did 8 eggs in here. You can see it? No. So now you can see what it's looking like in here. So they're all. Carol, are you signed in as yourself? Okay. Rabbi Hassan, Carol signed in as herself, and so if you want, you can switch to her camera.
See if I can do that.
Okay, if not, it's no big deal. I can.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Wow.
Perfect.
Great. Okay. So you can see it simmering there, but I am actually going to cover it a little bit, and then this will also be. It'll be a matter of personal taste.
How hard do you want the eggs? Yeah.
Yeah. Why aren't you wearing it?
Because some people like their eggs less done, and some people like them more done. These are way too done for my taste. When the yolks really aren't moving very much, that means they're a little bit more solidly cooked. But definitely, people do prefer it that way. I like the yolks a little bit softer because then I also like to get that. The yolks with the bread. So in about, I'm going to set it for 2 minutes, and then I'm probably going to add the spinach. And let me see if there are any more questions.
You look great, Leah.
I'm married to a Yankee fan, so I actually don't even have a Mariners hat. Actually, no, actually I do. But you're right. I should. What a miss on my part. I'll tell you why I wore this hat, because it was in the picture, and I wanted to make sure everybody recognized me if they didn't know me. So this was in the publicity picture, so I just put it on.
I want to take this moment just to thank Terry Robinson, who's been sponsoring these lectures, these demonstrations in loving memory of his Nona, Auntie Kay, Catherine Sharon. It's been wonderful to have these classes, and we're going to be taking a break actually, because everyone's been enjoying, well, I guess last week we were enjoying the beautiful weather, but we're hoping that people are going to be enjoying the Seattle summer. So we're going to be on break after this session, and we'll be coming back probably about a month before the Chagim to ramp up again. But we want to thank Terry for sponsoring these in memory of Auntie Kay, because these are very much in her spirit, and so many of those who've been demonstrating have been inspired personally by her.
100%. It's a beautiful, beautiful tribute. I love it. I just love it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually gonna take a little bit of this of the feta cheese in my hand, and I'm gonna do it old school way, and I'm gonna just crumble it with my hands over the shakshuka. So.
And Leah, can you use other cheeses too?
You can definitely use other cheeses. This is gonna be a personal decision how you want it, but I'm gonna go with the cheeses, and I'm gonna put now, Carol. Yeah. I'm gonna actually sprinkle the spinach and the olives on it too. So I'm gonna actually just make this a Greek shakshuka right now. Because you've got the feta, you're gonna put on a little bit of spinach. Put them on the side. I'm gonna put the olives on the side because not all of my Greek descendants like olives. So I'll put them just on one side. Oh, perfect timing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, put a little more spinach in. And I'm just gonna bring the computer on over. Hold on one second. Looks so yummy.
Wow.
It smells so yummy. Okay.
Yummy, yummy.
So here we go. Actually, whoops, I hope I'm not getting everybody all dizzy up in there. But while I can still see a little bit of the clear liquid of the egg, I'm going to know that it's not fully cooked. So I'm going to cover it for another, just about a minute or two. This is not the right hand. But I'm going to cover it just a little bit more so that it gets cooked. In about a minute, though, I really am going to turn off the flame and let it just finish cooking by itself for a few minutes, and then it's totally ready to eat. So at this time, you can also judge for your own personal taste if you like a little bit more tomato sauce, and if you like it saucier or if you like it chunkier. I tend to just like it more with the fresh tomatoes and use the flavor of the fresh tomatoes. And
now's the time to put your bread in the toaster.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to heat up.
Yeah, I want to see the plating of this too. This looks great.
Yeah. Yeah, right, that's one. Put this back in the oven. And here's the Israeli salad that we're gonna eat with it. A nice little dice there going. And yeah, and actually for that Israeli salad, I mean, I'm sure you know, but it's really just with olive oil, some fresh lemon juice, and again, some coarse salt and fresh pepper. That's just classic and delicious. And back to the basics, you know what I'm saying? You don't need anything fancy here to make it good. And actually, I didn't even put salt and pepper on this shakshuka. I'll just put it on now a little bit before we go, and then I'll plate it, and then I'll bring it right over. Oh yeah, we're ready.
And Leah, I see you moved your microwave.
I sure did. You know what? Every year after Pesach, something has to change in the kitchen, right? Otherwise, it wasn't worth it to take everything out of there, was it? So that's just something new. Where did I go? Here we go. Looking for this. And
Do you want to show the final product?
yeah, actually, I'm going to take a picture of it.
Oh, wow.
Taking a picture of it.
What's that on?
Yeah, thank you. And to all of you. I hope you enjoy it. Here, Sean, I can bring it over here a second. And
Next time I'm in Israel, I'll have to try it.
Leah, it looks yummy, but the thing I don't love are the tomatoey things, spinach and eggs. That would be my favorite.
right? Mom,
Okay.
I'm telling you, when you come, we got to get you the green shakshuka. It's spinach and zucchini and a cream sauce. It's so good.
I make that one like once a week for breakfast.
Okay.
It's so delicious.
Okay. I'm putting in my order.
You'll have
Huevos
it.
con zucchini.
Exactly. How do you say green?
Wow, wait a minute. But I also
Yarrow.
Yeah, I was talking about
You're right.
Spanish and Ladino, but you're right, Bobby. It's a good. You're right. You're right.
I just really messed up on it.
Without the tomatoes, Ruby would love it.
There we go. Right.
Amanda, that must be there.
Enjoy.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to my niece who just made a shakshuka at Yeshiva, I think, for Yom Ha'atzmaut for Master Chef, and she, I think she won. How about that?
Wow.
Anyways, so here it goes.
Enjoy.
I hope everybody enjoyed. It was nice seeing everybody. Any other questions or comments or anything?
Yeah, Leah, it's Adina Gnauer. I have a question.
Look at you.
PM me because I'm a little scared right now.
No, it's a good question. And I want to ask it, all the Nana and Papus, if you could stay on too. I was recently having an argument with my dear friend, Marilyn Gladstein, about how to make proper pastels. I grew up in which pastels are always made with real dough. However, she made them with fila dough. And I wanted to know what you grew up with and what the proper way is to make them.
The pastel dough that I know and love is very similar to the boreka dough. So I would say, yeah, it's definitely more of a dough than a fila dough. Anybody want to weigh in on that? Auntie Rosie? Auntie Esther? Ima?
What is it?
What was the question?
Pastel dough, is it more of a doughy dough, like a boreka dough, or is it more of a fila dough?
Oh, it's not fila.
See, I was going to say as well, but you know.
It's a little bit more oily than the mine is anyway. A little bit more oily than the boreka dough.
Right, the proportions are a little bit different, but it's reminiscent.
You know, if you made it with boreka dough, it wouldn't be terrible. I mean, you know.
That's good to know. Boreka dough I didn't like, yeah.
And you can see it all in Sharon Babani's class last week. She has a whole thing on, it's like a soft boreka dough, and just have a look on our channel for that.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Great to see you all.
Okay, thanks so much, Leah. I'm going to stop the recording, but people, please stay free to chat and catch up with Leah.